Happy April. Spring has sprung and Texans Playbook is now. My name is Drew Doherty, outside NRG Stadium. We've got a fantastic show for you this week because number 99 and number 80 are chopping it up. That's right, a GOAT Talk with J.J. Watt and Andre Johnson with a little sprinkling of Jonathan Joseph as well. We've got some fun stuff from that. It's a good conversation. Also, there's been a girls' flag football jamboree, but we begin by going hunting. Danielle Hunter was outstanding for the Texans in 2024, and we go after the whistle with him after a recent signing.
This is as big a splash as you can get for the Houston Texans. The top free agent on the board, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Danielle Hunter gets a deal with the Houston Texans.
Danielle Hunter, who came home to Texas after an illustrious start to his career in Minnesota.
He goes down. It's Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter is signing with his hometown team, the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I feel the love, man. Ever since I came here, I felt the love from all over the city. Just being able to put on for the city that I've been through a lot.
Storm almost the size of the entire state of Texas. This community has faced a natural disaster.
And it's a very special feeling to be able to just come back and play in front of my family and friends. You're playing for a team that you grew up watching in your childhood.
NRG Stadium about to come alive.
That really doesn't happen too often, and to be able to do something like that, it's a special feeling. The type of team we have, and just to be a part of it.
Two tremendous players on the edge for Houston, and Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter.
You know, it's very special to me.
Hey, fade time, baby.
Overall, it's been a fun season. You know, coming in and learning a new defense, getting to know the players, the coaches. It's been entertaining, fun, and new experience. Playing with the guys and seeing the brotherhood from when I saw at the playoff game a couple of years ago.
The greatest playoff performance in Texans history.
You know, seeing how it all happened, how it all came together, and being a part of that, it was just an amazing feeling this year. Play in and play out, just doing whatever we need to do in order to stop the play.
Taken away from Danielle Hunter, who brings him down for a deep shot. The sound Will hits him. Houston with the takeaway.
I've learned a lot from him, man. Just the drive he has. Been around a lot of top defensive players. That kid's special. Will, he ranks up there. A player like that doesn't come around too often. Guys that are hungry.
Zach Will Anderson Jr., his second of the game.
That's the biggest thing about being a football player. You just always want to be able to have a challenge. We love when we come into work and we try to elevate our game to the next level. You know, that's what you want to see from a professional team. It's truly special what they got going on here.
Don't you move a muscle because J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson, and Jonathan Joseph are reliving some old times and maybe even talking about a comeback. Texans Playbook is next.
Texans Playbook is brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans. And by your Houston area Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
We're back here on Texans Playbook, and one of the fun things we've done this last year or so has been GOAT Talk. Andre Johnson, GOAT, greatest of all time, has been talking with other GOATs around the sports landscape and music landscape as well. Jim Nantz, the broadcaster, Shaquille O'Neal, the pro basketball superstar, and Pro Football Hall of Famers like Michael Irvin and Tim Brown. A future Pro Football Hall of Famer is J.J. Watt in number 99. Mixed it up with Johnson and Jonathan Joseph.
There was a time where it just flipped for you as a player. When did you feel like that moment was?
That's what I was going to ask too, but because I missed it. I don't know, I missed it. I was playing.
It was. I can very distinctly tell you when it was, and I've told this story a couple times, and I always preface it by saying I don't recommend this for people, but this is what it was for me. So I came in as a rookie, and I was drafted 11th, so they put me as a starter right away. And I'll never forget, Amobi Okoye was incredible about it. He was the guy before me, but he helped me learn, knowing full well that I was taking his spot. Amobi was awesome. But I came in and they put me in that role right away, and I started to struggle a little bit, like especially in the first few games. Like I was playing 3 technique and I was getting cut off by the guard on these backsides. And so I got into a game, I think it was the 4th game of the season against the Ravens, and Marshall Yonda's the guard. And I get cut off on this as a 3 technique, and I come off to the sideline, and Bill Kolar just rips me to shreds. You guys know, I mean, just rips me to shreds. I go out the next series, same thing, just get cut off again. I come back to the sideline, Kolar just destroys me. The 3rd time I get cut off again, I come to the sideline, Kolar looks at Cap, our trainer, and goes, Cap, take his helmet away. He's never going back in this game. So I'm sitting there on the sideline, like as a rookie, just dejected. Like, I suck at football. My coach hates me. I'm never going to play again. This is the worst thing ever. We get on the flight. We go home. On the way home, I literally lived at Old Spanish Trail Apartments right over here.
Domain.
So I stop at the grocery store right over here. I pick up a 12-pack and I go to my house. I'm like, this sucks. I'm just going to drink by myself. So I go and I drink by myself, and I ended up cutting on some high school highlights just because I was like, I need to feel good about myself, like that I can play football. So I start cutting on some high school highlights. I start cutting on some college highlights, and I'm getting like 7 or 8 deep here. And all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? You can beat this if you want, but that guy, like that guy, I'm good at football. Like, those guards, like I'm good at football. Like if I'm gonna go out, I was trying to be so perfect with my technique, with my hands, with my feet. I was trying to do it exactly how he taught on every single play. And I finally that night, probably because of the libations, I was like, just go out there and play, man. If you get cut and if you don't make it, at least do it your way. And so then I started playing a little more free, and they started giving me a little more freedom. But it was a combination of then Bill reined me in with, I gave some of my freedoms, and then he was able to rein me back in and teach me the technique that I needed. And somehow it magically married up and turned into a great player. But Bill Kolar, absolutely hated him for about the first 8 weeks of my NFL career. And now I love him like, best friend, and I'm so thankful for him. And then I got to give credit to Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was an unbelievable man to play for and gave me so much confidence that I never would have had if it weren't for him.
Trust me, I had to go to bat for you. And as funny as it sounds, like Dre know, when you first took off, for every question, everywhere you go, man, is that white boy really that good? Man, trust me. Yeah. Hey, I got to enjoy out of, I'm going back, I'm running through practice, I'm looking at the one-on-ones. I love to watch it, you know what I mean? So for me as a player playing with you, like I just got to let you know just how appreciative it was. Like you made my job easier every time we took the field. And now looking back on it, like you said, I don't even know when it took off, because before I knew it, it was 17 sacks, 18, 20, back to back to back. And then they put you on offense. People see some of the interceptions in the game. I had to watch you destroy some of my defenders in practice. I was like, man, this dude is getting out of hand.
No, I got to tell you guys, man, like you, Jack, D-Man, like all the guys on the back end, like for a defensive lineman, it makes our job so incredibly easy. And I think that was the beauty of why Wade Phillips' defense works so well. Wade loves cover one. Like he wants to run cover one. He wants to run man-to-man. You can't do it if you don't have dogs at corner. And we had you and J-Joe and guys out there shutting people down. So for me, it was Sack City because I just got to eat. I give a ton of credit to you guys. I always talk about, obviously, Aaron Donald's an unbelievable player. He played in the Wade Phillips system as well. Same thing, like dogs on the back end, let the front end eat. And that's when football is really fun.
But I remember when there's a chance you thought you can just walk around, like you say, you went in the grocery store, got a 12-pack, and then all of a sudden it became, you couldn't even go in the gallery or mall. Talk about how that felt.
It was a little wild because, I'm a kid from Wisconsin. I come down to Houston. I've never been here before. And so I'm going to Cavender's and I'm getting like cowboy hat and cowboy boots. Like I'm walking around HEB, like getting my groceries. And then I think it was probably it was definitely the playoff game after that, where like you go to HEB and you're like, all right, this is taking like an hour and 45 minutes to get my groceries because everybody wants pictures. And then it just kind of snowballed. And then you're doing the commercials and then everything starts to blow up. And nobody can ever prepare you for how to handle it. Like nobody could have ever taught me or told me how to handle it because you just kind of have to experience it. And there's definitely certain things that I would look back on and like, having the wisdom I have now, I would handle them differently and I would do things differently. But I also realize the life I have is because of it. And so I'm unbelievably grateful. I have a connection with the city of Houston, Texas that never in my wildest dreams would I imagine that here would feel like family.
Right.
But every time I get here and I step off the plane or I walk around, it truly, truly feels like family. And I think you guys probably feel that the same. Like, something about it. They've embraced me and I'm so grateful.
The one regret is we flew back on that plane from the music awards. We should have partied that night.
You're right. That's one of those things. Like, where I'm like, did you really need to get back that night? Like I'm like, there's a lot of stuff like that I look at where I'm like, all right, hard. It's like, why were you so tough? Like, did it matter on March 30th that you were in the gym? You couldn't have one night with your boys in Nashville?
That's what that went to the country
music awards. Yeah, like I got a jet, I brought a bunch of the guys.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then like I was like, no, we got to get back so we can train the next day. Like, everybody's like, dude, just let us party. And I was like, no, we need to get back.
So y'all went from the show straight back to Houston?
Yeah, I remember Arnold.
We saw Arnold. Yeah.
Like, come on, stay with us, party. They're like, we gotta get back.
Yeah.
I'm like, looking how it was so
stupid. Yeah. Talk about stuff that you look back on. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was asking Ben Jones to come party with him. And Ben Jones is doing an Arnold impression back to him. And I'm saying, no, let's get back to the plane. What a dumb man.
That's crazy because I would have partied. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I know.
I ain't gonna lie, I was a little jealous. I see y'all guys on that trip. I ain't get to make that trip. I think I was in Indy,
you were big into the Country Music Awards?
No, I'm not big into it. I just wanted to go though.
It was fun, man. Who we had? We had Kush. We had you had
Ben, Jack.
Jack. It was a good trip.
Good trip.
When we return, more GOAT Talk with J.J. Watt and Andre Johnson. We really appreciate you watching us here on Texans Playbook. Drew Doherty outside NRG Stadium, and here is part 2 of our conversation between J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson, and Jonathan Joseph. GOAT Talk.
I would always see you like stay after practice. Like I remember, I think it was the Hard Knocks thing, and it was one like they showed you like staying after practice. And I was in Indy, I think at the time when the Hard Knocks was here, and I had guys asking me, they were like, man, is he really like that? Like, you know, like, does he like really do that? And I'm like, yeah, like he worked his ass off. Like, so what do you think that came from? Like, what made you that way?
I think part of it is how I was raised. Like I said, my parents, that's what they taught me. Literally, they taught me like, you want to be great, work to be great, put in the work. And then once I got to the NFL, it was people are paying you millions of dollars. Fans are watching you. Like, you better go out there and earn that. So there was that in me. But then there was also the part of me that felt that obligation to this place, to my teammates, to the city, that I had to be that person. And now I fully understand that people would question it. Some people look at it, call it cheesy, whatever it is. And there's definitely some cheesy that I'm like, all right, like you were a little cheesy. But the one thing that was never cheesy was the work. Like there might be some things with, trying to act like Captain America and some of like the squeaky clean image and all that. But the work was never a joke. Like that was always true because and it probably was a part of my downfall, honestly, with some of my injuries. Like I thought I was Superman. I thought that I could lift every weight in the gym. I thought I could run routes with the receivers. I thought I could do sprints with the DBs.
Squat with a bad back.
Yeah, like I just thought like, and like when I got injured, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be back faster than anybody in history has ever been back.
You want to know the crazy thing? It's funny you bring that up about you felt like you can go through anything. I remember when you dislocated your elbow in training camp, and I could remember it so vividly. It was like you could hear a rat piss on cotton. Like everybody got so quiet, like the fans, everybody. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, like
dude, that was bad.
This just didn't happen. But I remember seeing you in the training room, and it was like a couple days later you was doing push-ups, and I'm like, there's no way this dude finna bounce back. Like he's doing push-ups. You literally just dislocated your elbow a couple days ago, and now you're doing push-ups.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what What was it like? You just always felt like you can always come
I'm telling
back.
you, man. I thought I was Superman. I'm telling you, like, especially then, because I did. So
hard
I
not to. Hard not to.
Yeah. So that day, that was Brian Cushing playing linebacker, and Arian Foster playing running back.
I saw it.
Dude, it was unbelievable.
He literally ran straight through your arm.
It was unreal. My arm was in the worst position. If you saw two trains coming down the track, I just stuck my arm between both of them. And Arian came this way, and Cush came this way, and my arm was right here, and just poof. So my elbow facing the other way. Cap, our trainer, comes out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's dislocated." I'm like, "No, Cap, it's facing the wrong way." And he goes, "All right, I'm gonna put it back in." He goes to put it back in, bone on bone. He missed. And then he goes to put it back in again. He gets it in. He goes, "Oh, wow, that's my first time doing that." I was like, "Yeah, I could tell. You missed the first time, dude." So then I got to go to the hospital and get all my MRIs and everything. But like you said, they pop it back in, basically tell me I have no tendons left, but we're not going to fix it because I'm not a pitcher, so I don't need the tendons. Right. I don't know any better. So I'm like, all right. 2 days later, I'm like, let me just see how I feel. I do a push-up on the desk, and then they call Dr. Lowe over, and Dr. Lowe watches me do a push-up, and he's like, I've never seen that before. And so I'm like, damn right you haven't. like, damn right you haven't seen that before. Like, wait till you see what I'm about to do. And he's like, well, there's no way you're going to be ready for the first week. But I think in a couple weeks, I was like, buddy, I got this. And then I think that just honestly built my confidence for that and some of my naivety and innocence and stupidity. Because I just, from that point forward, I was like, nothing can stop me. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah, bro, I swear, like, I could remember it very vividly. I remember seeing Kush run through your arm because I wasn't even in on the play when it happened. So I remember I'm standing on the sideline, and when I saw it, I'm like, oh no, like I know this just didn't happen right.
I remember you talking about it. You say Kush ran right through.
Yeah, I'm like, me, you got to think. I'm like, why would Kush do that? Like, I'm pissing out because I'm like, Kush ran straight through.
Dude, think about that squad.
But
like,
I think we were doing like a live.
It was
drill
live, yeah.
too.
It was live. So I was trying to tackle. Yeah. Think about that craziness of that sentence alone. Like you got Brian Cushing, Arian Foster, myself.
Right. But it was what's name that was even more jacked though, if I remember it correctly, who was really coming down here. Brady James.
Brady
James.
Love some Brady James, man. Love some Brady James. I'll never forget because when that happened, when I dislocated my elbow, Kolar looked like he was going to cry. And that was the first moment that I was like, this guy actually cares about me. I was like, yeah, you know what? He's all right.
When that happened, and that's when I'm like, you were already taking off at that time in your career. But like when that happened, just to see the way the people reacted, like everybody was like, what the, like, because, you know, we thinking like he's going to be out for some games, you know, we don't know when he'll come back. But to see you doing push-ups like a few days later, I'm like.
Well, that was also a few days after Wade. I always give Wade credit for this. Wade, before my second season ever started. So, I mean, this was like, I had a decent end of the rookie year, but I hadn't done anything crazy yet. And Wade had told the media, like, he's going to be a bust, not a first-round bust, but a Hall of Famer. And I read that, and I literally read it in the paper, and I was like, Wade Phillips, like Coach Reggie White, like Coach Alex, he just said, I'm going to be a Hall of Famer. There's something about when somebody you look up to believes in you. Right. And like, it's kind of like I told you with my parents before, right. When they put that, they bestow that upon you, you all of a sudden have no choice but to become a bigger version of yourself and fulfill that destiny. And so I always give Wade credit because he put a belief in me that I didn't even have in myself at that time. And all I wanted to do was make him right. They also told me he stood on the table for me to get drafted here. So my whole career, I just wanted to prove Wade right and make him proud of me.
Me and Brady James was actually on a plane. We were coming from a game. And he came over to me, we were just talking. And he was like, Dre. He was like, JJ gonna be that dude. And I'm like, really? Like, he was like, no, Dre. He was like, Dre, he that good. And I never shared that with you until now. But we were coming. I can't remember where we were coming from. I think it might have been a preseason game or something. But it was early, like in the year. And he was sitting on a plane and we were just talking and he shared that with me. And it's crazy, like you say, you don't know. Just people having that belief in you, it gives you so much confidence to want to accomplish more. And
Brady
and
to me was a very underrated player here because he doesn't get enough credit. Brady,
very.
Like A, from a leadership standpoint, B, we were top 2, top 3 defense at that time, and a big part of it was because Brady allowed me to be me. So like I'm well aware that I did.
He always said that to me. He was like, Dre, I will let him do him, and I'm a fix whatever.
Yes,
is messed
it was
up.
Unbelievable, and he was so selfless about it. And at the same time, I had Jared Crick on the other side who did the same thing. Crick knew he wasn't going to have. Crick is the best. He was like, I'm not going to have these big sack numbers. I'm not going to have anything flashy, but I'm going to push the pocket on the other side. So you do what you do on your side.
Right.
And Brady was right behind me doing the exact same thing. Crick is just in there pushing the pocket. I know damn well that quarterback is not going to escape out Crick's side. So it's up to me to make the play.
We got some fun stuff coming up. Girls flag football and a jamboree. Texans Playbook rolls on in a moment. We're back here on Texans Playbook, and girls flag football is very important to the Houston Texans organization, so it's a natural that the girls flag jamboree was a huge success recently.
You are going to be coached by the best. We're here to learn. We are here to get better.
My name is Adrienne Smith. I am a wide receiver for the Boston Renegades, and we are here in beautiful Houston, Texans at the Texans Girls Flag Football Jamboree. The girls, we had them going through various drills. We were doing throwing drills, catching drills, and also, most importantly, like flag pulling drills. Those are key to being successful flag football players. What's really important to me is just seeing the skill sets. First, you had girls that weren't really sure how to hold the football, throw the football, or catch it, and now it's as if they were born doing it.
Last but certainly not least, 1, 2, 3.
That's going to do it for this week's show. We appreciate you checking us out. For Josh Sy, that'll do it for this week's show. That's going to do it for this week's show. We appreciate you checking us out. For Josh Sy, Tyler Beaumont, and the rest of the good dudes and gals who put this show together, I'm Drew Doherty, and we will see you next time. H is up, H-Town.